All right, this video is going to be working on our terminology for places on the court. Now, it's very important that players have a great imagination for being able to see lines and lanes that are there, but they're not. So I've put down some lines, these yellow lines right here, to kind of create lanes on one particular half. So we're on the ad side right here. And on this ad side, here's a lane, there's a line, here's your center line right here. And this center line goes all the way to the net. It just, it's just disappeared a little bit right here. It's invisible, but it's there. So here's a lane, this line and these lines, that's a lane. And from this little put down line and the singles line, that's a lane. Now, when you are playing, each one of these lanes serves a purpose. This is the inside. This is the inside of the court. This lane right here is the middle of the half, and this lane is called the outside. Now, when you're in tennis, these three lanes are over here as well. So you can't really, they're not here, but you got to be able to get to a point where we can kind of see these three lanes, even if the lines aren't there to help you. So here's an inside on the deuce. Here's an inside on the ad. These two insides make up the middle of the court. So balls that are going over the net and landing close on the center line, just to the left of it, or just to the right of the center line, this is known as the middle of the court. All right? Now, the middle of the half is halfway in the middle between the singles line and the center line. This is midway. And when you start hitting balls that are a lot closer to the singles line, now you're to the outside. When you're playing, if you're hitting balls to the insides of a lot, your opponent doesn't have to move far. Like you're basically hitting the ball right to them. When you start hitting balls to the middle of the half, now they actually got to move a little bit. Definitely if you're over here and then you hit to the middle half on the other side, they got to move. There's a lot more movement your opponent has to do. When you start hitting balls to the outside, now your opponent is really running. They're stretching. Now it's making it more challenging. So when we're trying to place our ball, think about driving a car. You start off at 0. 0 to 20 is right here in the middle of the court. Going to 20 to 40, middle of the half. 40 all the way up to 100. Now we're to the outside. So when you're playing your matches, you can start off on the middle to see and test, do you need to do more? Because maybe your opponent's not as good and they can't handle really just even staying consistent. But if they are consistent, you need to move them to make them kind of create some more errors. Start going to the middle of the half. All right, they can handle middle of the half balls pretty well. Now you start going to the outside. So that's how you would progress your point play, unless you already know that your opponent's great. We can then just kind of don't even worry about the middle, start middle of the half and outside balls only. Keep the balls out the middle. Okay, so now from the baseline to the service line, this area inside this box is called no man's land. Nobody should be standing here unless you're going through it. If the ball is hit short and you have to move in to get the ball, if you decide to go forward, get out of it, go forward, get ready to volley. But if you come in here to hit a ball, you're behind the baseline, you go in to hit, get out of no man's land and recover, okay? Don't spend time in here. Don't hit and just hang out, all right? Because balls land right here. So now you have balls landing at your feet. Now you have more difficult shots. So go through it or go into it and get back out of it, all right? These are the lanes that we will be trying to visually see. The understanding for no man's land is something you need to apply. And by strategizing your points this way of hitting to middle of the half and hitting to the outsides a lot more, it's going to increase your ability to win a lot more points. There are some drills that you and your child can do, or you and a peer could do, to help you get better at seeing the inside, middle of the half, and outside. Now, one of the drills that you could do, if there's a person on the other side of the net, they would throw balls over here. The person over here will be working on trying to figure out where this ball is about to land and call it out before the ball actually does. So the peer or the parent throws the ball over, and the player is working on outside, calling it before the ball lands. Inside, middle of the half, and that way we start to develop an eye for seeing the lanes, okay? If we can figure out where balls are going before they land, that's gonna help us get to the ball, okay? It's gonna help us figure out what we need to do with the ball. If you're in the middle of the half and a ball is hit to the outside, the safe thing to do is just send it on back cross court to the outside. So after you've done the drill where someone's throwing the ball over, we can work on our patterns. A ball is thrown over to the outside. I'm working on hitting the ball back cross court to the outside of the ad. And we would do the same thing on the deuce. If a ball lands on the middle of the half, you have options. You can now start running around the ball to go down the line or cross court, or you can still just hit your backhand, cross court or down the line. You have a lot of options. When balls land to the inside, you know, you can just hit your dominant hand now. It's right here to you. So you can still go down the line or you can go cross court again, all right? So, and you'd want to do this on both sides. Recap, drill one, have someone feed the ball over. You call out where the ball is landing before it does. Second drill, start working on your patterns. Balls that go to the outside go cross court. Balls that go to the middle of the half or the inside, you now have an option of going down the line. Now, it doesn't mean every time the ball comes to the outside, you can't go down the line. It's just more of a risk. You are going to want to practice that, but high percentage tennis, if you're here, going back over there, wait for a better ball to attack for down the line, all right? As your opponents get better, you are going to have to take that risk, all right? But, you know, if you just want to stay the point, we go back cross court. No need to rush it. So those are two drills to help you develop seeing your lanes. Other positions on the court are known as deuce in the ad. Now, the deuce side is always to the right of the center line. The ad side is to the left. Now, when you go to the other side of the court, everything just, you know, flips. So here's the deuce right here on my right. That's the deuce over there. Here's the ad on my left. There's the ad over there. So one thing you notice is that deuce to deuce is cross court, ad to ad is cross court, okay? You know you've hit a ball cross court if your ball travels over the center line. So here's the center line. I just hit a ball and it went over the center line. That's how you know you went cross court. Down the line means the ball doesn't cross over the center court. So I'm on the deuce side right now hitting the ball, and now I've hit the ball to the ad side. It never crossed over the center line. So that's how you know the difference between hitting the ball cross court and hitting the ball down the line. You also now understand deuce side versus the ad side. Now, other familiar references on the court are known as the alley. So we typically use the alley from the singles line to the doubles line when we're playing doubles. When we're playing singles, the ball has to be either on the line or to the inside. When we're playing doubles, 2 versus 2, on the line or inside the alley, okay? The service boxes are right here where the service line and the center line is. So we have our deuce service box and our ad service box. Anytime you serve, your ball has to be either on those lines or inside that service box. When you're serving from deuce to deuce, ad to ad, so you're hitting balls cross court, not down the line.